Hey guys. So, I got engaged. Yes, yes. I got engaged. It has been such a journey, and I'm always saying that, but it's the truth. Like, honestly, I think it's really just one of those things that you grow up always wondering what it'll feel like when you actually experience that moment. You wonder, just like you spend all this time wondering if you'll ever get there. And honestly, I didn't I didn't I don't want to say that I didn't think that it could happen because I've always been hopeful, and I always felt that if I did what I was supposed to do as a woman, as an individual, that and kept my head in the right place, that everything that I asked for would come to me and would manifest, and it's happening. It's happening. you know I'm feeling very blessed and grateful, honestly. And yes, I am eating pasta out of my my glass here. It's really about living the life that you want, and not accepting what everybody else is doing or what they want for you as what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to be doing, what you should want for yourself, because everyone doesn't have the same intentions for you that you may have for yourself or even for them. It's like sometimes we want we want good for ourselves. And sometimes you'll just come across people who act like they want the best for you, but in reality, you know if they can't have it, or if they don't see themselves with it, or if they don't have it, then they they project their insecurities, their um all of their stuff and baggage onto you. So I just want to thank everyone who has congratulated me um, on this special, for the special milestone in my life, the special moment, this experience. You know, I realize that a lot of people really don't get the opportunity to experience real bliss and that excitement of of a proposal and a real relationship and things like that. And so I'm feeling blessed, like I said. And so how did it happen? It was it was magical. It's funny because he actually proposed to me on his birthday, so no, I was not expecting it. I just kind of went with the flow. He said that he had some things planned and it just piece by piece kind of started falling, just coming together. And so he started off with um, taking me to this beautiful hotel, and we ended up kind of just chilling out there a little bit, relaxing, and then getting showered and dressed, and went back out, and we walked on Bill Street, actually, on Bill Street. And so if anyone that knows um, me will kind of tell you that if Bill Street can talk, or if Bill Street could talk, it was one of the movies that I actually wanted to see last year. And I think it came out last year. If Bill Street Could Talk. If Bill Street Could Talk came out in 2018. It took me forever to see it because it wasn't playing in Las Vegas at all. And so I had to wait for it to come out on DVD in order for me to watch it. And so, my fiance, he took me to Bill Street. I didn't have to ask for it. It's not, I mean, it was totally unexpected, but it was beautiful. We walked on Bill Street, and just hung out, took pictures, listened to music, and then we went back to the hotel, freshened up again, and then went back down to Bill Street. Okay, now this time around, it just felt like the energy was changing. At this point, it's dark, it's nighttime, and everything is all lit up. And he's kind of rushing me because it's like we have a 7:30 appointment. We have a 7:30 appointment. I'm like, okay, well, whatever that means. I'm thinking reservations, to go eat somewhere, or whatever that meant. And so we get down there, and there's all these horses, the horse and carriage, um, you know, people, and the horses and the carriages down there. And so he did have one reserved. It was the princess, or the Cinderella princess, horse and carriage. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point my stomach was turning, because it's like, okay, now you done gave me a necklace, you gave me a card that was signed hubby, and we're on this Cinderella princess, horse and carriage situation here. I'm like, what's up? Something is up. And his energy just was, kind of shifting a little bit, that little nervous energy. And he started so we're on this ride, and behind him there's a building that was lit up, and there was a big heart. And I'm just like, okay, don't get ahead of yourself, Elijah. Don't get ahead of yourself. And then he started talking slow. And I just start rocking like, okay, here, I'm still trying not to get ahead of myself. And then he asked me, he did one of these like look maneuvers, like look behind you. What is that? Like, what's that? So I look and I'm looking for it, of course. And something just told me, like, whatever you're looking for back there, you're not going to find it. And he just said, "Bae." And I turned around and I was just like, I fell into myself, literally, because, of course, he's sitting in there with the ring and the box and all of that. And I mean, the words that he spoke to me, and I mean, it was just so beautiful. And honestly, if Bill Street could talk, I mean, I don't know if it would say anything. I honestly believe that it would probably have cried right along with me. You know, I was crying, and ugh, you know, it was just this whole beautiful moment. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, how selfless how selfless he was to make that whole day about me. And it was his birthday, and his motivation behind it was, of course, aside from his motivation of, like, him proposing to me, but it was very special. He wanted to give me that moment and that experience, um because I had a baby in February. And um and so and see, my birthday is in March. So because of COVID and me having the baby, um you know so close to my birthday, I didn't get to do anything because I was in recovery, and then everything kind of shut down. So he presented it to me in a way where we were celebrating our birthdays, you know, instead of us just celebrating his. And that meant a lot to me. I'm kind of having chills just thinking about it, because, and this is something that I want a lot of people to know. I want people to know, just because something looks easy doesn't mean that it is. We have spent so much time working on building our relationship. I mean, we spent 3 years off of social media, 3 years off of social media in order to dedicate our all to the relationship. And that did include therapy and, you know, watching YouTube videos with other couples, but not only just watching the quote unquote like relationship goals. We watched the ins and outs of, like, the ugly stuff that people go through in their relationships. Even though we weren't going through some of that stuff ourselves, it helped to make us understand so much, and how we as individuals can, how we may bring certain things into the relationship that may not need to be there. And so, we spent a lot of time just focusing on building a solid foundation to walk on, and building and creating that safe space for the both of us to be able uh to grow and to learn and explore. And so it just felt right, when he did pop the question. It's almost like whatever fears that I had literally just kind of like lifted from just lifted off of my spirit. It's almost like that's what I've been asking for all along, but I never pressured him. I never pressured him, and I never uh made it like a huge deal to even get married in the first place. If in fact, I told him ahead of, a while ago that, hey, if this isn't something that you see yourself doing, let's figure it out. Let's make sure that we're not doing anything that we may regret later. And so I thank him for allowing himself to really get down in the trenches with me, to be able um to see himself in it, to allow me the space to see myself and where I need to grow. And this is important, looking yourself in the mirror and seeing what you may cause, like how you may cause damage to a relationship. It's not always on the guy, it's not always on the woman, or it's we each bring something different, whatever that may be, to the relationship. And if we can, you know if our goals are the same, then it's possible to work through those things, to work through all of that together. So I encourage for people to really understand and take the time to learn themselves and understand what's going on with them. You know, it's like we all come from a past, and we all do bring baggage into um into our futures, you know. Um and so it's really about how we go about dealing with it, you know. So I feel very lucky. I feel lucky to have somebody who wasn't just, or isn't just telling me like, you need to go to therapy, you need to go to therapy. Let's know, what can we do to make sure that we that we both can benefit from the experience. What can we do individually to make sure that we're bringing our best selves into the relationship? What can we do together in order to make sure that we're understanding what what the relationship needs, and what we need to bring to each other? Communication. Communication is key. One of you may shut down, and I will say this: if both of you guys shut down, then you have a problem, a real big problem, because neither one of you will bring the communication into the relationship. If one of you is on a more balanced in a more balanced position in the relationship and the other one is shutting down, then you have a good chance. If you have patience, if you have patience, you can open up that space to be able to allow the other person to open up and trust you. Um, if you are creating that safe space for them to be able to work on building their communication. So it's very important. If there's no patience, um, then it can hurt the relationship. If there's no communication, then it's like there's then you can't really build trust either. There's no way to really do that. So that's very, very important. The willingness to want to see yourself. Um, it's like sometimes you do have to get in that mirror and look at yourself and see the ugly that's in there. Yes, I said it. There is a little bit of ugly in all of us. You know, we have to want to take accountability. That's important. You know, I'm not afraid to say that I'm not perfect. I'm not afraid to say that I'm struggling emotionally. I'm not afraid to say that, something didn't feel good when I heard it. And I'm lucky to have a partner that understands that if I say something, that it's important for him to, instead of shutting completely down, allowing that space in order for us to be able to talk through it. Because you want facts over assumptions. If it's the other way around, you will be having a hard time.